Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Order of the Dead Unicorn. My name is Corey, and here at the Dead Unicorn, we love to bring more people into the Order all the time. So I would like to welcome newcomer Rasma. Rasma, say hello to everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, but not just any Dungeons and Dragons. Like you can tell from the big old nerd on the thumbnail. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons Nerds. They created new adventures for Rainbow Nerds. I have really no idea what to expect when I got these things. I asked the Order if they wanted to play them, and they were ecstatic to play them. So we're going to go through each and every one of these adventures. There are 7 of them. The first 6 are one-on-one, so I'm here with just me and Rasma, and we're going to go through the adventure called Web of Lies. Rasma, would you like to talk a little bit maybe about yourself and about the character you're going to play?
No, no, I wouldn't, because I think that context clues will tell everybody what they need to know. I think
Right.
that we could probably just start and people will be able to figure it out.
Okay, well, let me just bring up the adventure real quick and we'll start out. So, uh, Rasma, your character is Yellow, a nerd,
Yes.
a nerd cleric, and you live in the city of Harmony, a city where nerds are apparently walking around on the street as if they're normal people. But there are
Quick
also
question.
humans and elves and dwarves and all of those types of people as well.
I've got a quick question. Are these medium-sized creatures?
You'd think they'd be smaller, but no, they're medium-sized creatures. They're maybe
So
as
not even
tall as
halfling
dwarves.
sized.
I'm thinking they're as tall as dwarves in how I'm visualizing them, because dwarves are medium-sized creatures in Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So you are at the Monastery of Inspiration because slowly but surely color is leaking away from the city of Harmony. In the marketplace, the flower sellers, every once in a while you'll see one of the red roses in a bunch of roses. There'll be one that is monochrome, and this this is a confusing thing that's happening. No one knows what to make of it, but the nerds, they're optimistic. They're optimistic folk.
Is this color outage localized? Is it specific to a space? If that rose, if it was trimmed and moved to a different location, does it regain its color?
These are all interesting questions that you're seeking answers for as you
Hmm.
meditate at the Monastery of Inspiration. So the clerics here are seeking answers to the color outages taking place across Harmony. Many spend their days reading thick tomes filled with ancient knowledge, while others work with the community to inspire a sense of togetherness. Today, you are sitting near a fountain, pondering the mystery of these color outages, when you see a bee floundering in the water about to drown. You remember a saying from your elder at the monastery that all living things, no matter how small, or if they cause you fear, are to be spared. As such is the way of the order.
Hmm. I see. I would like to check the bee for traps. No, I'm kidding.
It
I don't need to check
has
the bee. I
the
don't need to check the bee for
the
traps
bee
because
has
I
a
already
trap
know
at its on its
it's a
back
bee.
end. There is a big
Exactly.
needle.
A third of it is dedicated to attack. Yeah, it's trapped. No, I let me see what I've got. So yellow is a bit fearful of things that bite and sting. So wouldn't want to touch this bee with their one weird nerd foot hand. That's something I actually learned about nerds yesterday. I never noticed that their feet are also their hands.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Yellow slides the top of their alms box off and uses it to fish the bee out of the stream and then bears it safely to a flower nearby. So that way they don't have to touch it barehanded, but they do help out. They have a balance between uh, self-preservation and helping this bee out.
Of course, you do your best to fish it out, and you're successful. And the bee is drying its wings on a flower nearby until it is rested and dry enough to return to its hive. As you go back to pondering what you can do to solve the mystery of the color outages, a small man wearing horn-rimmed glasses approaches you, and he smiles. Oh, hello. Oh, I am Mr. Honeycutt. How do you do? I, are you Yellow?
Yes, Yellow responds.
Excellent. I have a matter of great importance if you would hear me out.
Certainly. Sit at the river with me.
If you don't mind first, and his little glasses glow for a second, and he's like, these are strange times we're in. I'm just checking to see if you're actually Yellow and not a doppelganger or an illusion. I belong to a secret order that is sworn to protect harmony. These color outages are being caused by a nefarious force that is still unknown to us. But we need your help to recover an item that will aid us in rooting out this evil. The item...
I think what would happen there is Yellow is a logical thinker, and they're temporarily lost in thought with this kind of existential dread where it's like, well, if I am a doppelganger, how would I know? And they shake themselves back to the conversation.
You get that scene from Ex Machina where Yellow starts ripping open his arm and seeing if it's a robot.
No, that's way too far. But you know what? A brief aside, Simulacrum, if they receive enough damage, they just turn back into snow or mud or whatever they were made from, right? What a terrible way to just fall apart. Oh. All right, sorry.
He continues. The item I am looking for is called the Saffron Gem. It has been lost for some time, but my recent studies have me almost certain of its location. Can you help us recover it?
I think that Yellow is a logical thinker. It seems a little suspicious that this individual has just shown up just as Yellow is contemplating what to do about the situation. Yellow is also has the sage background feature.
Yes.
What order? What was the name of the order this person?
The Lore Keeper Society.
As a sage, as a learned nerd, is Yellow familiar with that name? Have they read about it in a book? They heard whispers?
Sage says that if you do not know information, you often know where you can. Usually this information comes from a library. I'll tell you that you've only heard of the Lore Keeper Society in whispers, since it is a very secretive organization. You know they have a secret, but you're not sure what it is. But this is the first person you ever met that is part of that order.
All right, then just very quickly, what is Yellow's read of this guy? Does it seem like he's being truthful?
He seems very eager. He seems like a very eager chap. It seems like he knows exactly what he wants, and you don't sense any deception in what he's saying or conveying to you.
Perfect. So he's either honest or an extremely good liar, which is almost as good. Okay, so Yellow is also lacks conviction, lacks force of will. So Yellow's just going to go along with it. Yeah, Yeah, this guy has just shown up and has my best interests in mind and doesn't mind helping out.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I have this map here that will lead you through the Darkwood Forest to where the saffron gem is located. If you get it to me and you return it, I can also give you a small amount of money. 20 gold?
I don't. Hmm. Well, Yellow does have an alms box, and that's not for nothing. I think that Yellow would accept that deal, but likely not for personal gain. That's probably going straight in a donation box somewhere. Um, what does Yellow know about? I'm sorry, was it the Dark Root Garden, or
The
is that just
dark,
Dark Souls
dark
coming back?
wood.
Dark Wood. Okay.
Darkwood
Uh,
Forest.
Darkwood Forest. Um, what do they know about it? Is
It's
it
your standard
dangerous?
it's your standard fantasy forest filled with goblins and elves and dragons and such, with great adventure and eerie danger around every corner. It wouldn't be
Oh,
it wouldn't be out of sorts to find, like, a gingerbread house that with an evil witch inside, that sort of thing.
have they traveled there before? Do they know it well?
No, you are Yellow is quite new to the adventuring profession, as he is
Mhm.
only level 1.
Then I think that there's a map.
Yes,
There's a
you have
map
a
that
map.
guides the way. Uh,
There's a map, and it
Yellow, Yellow probably gets a mule, gets a donkey, something small, loads up an appropriate amount of whatever they need for the right length of trip, and they're on their way.
okay. The map is going to lead you to the Temple of Miel. Miel.
Miel?
Miel.
El. Oh, right. Sorry.
I believe that is pronounced meal.
Hmm.
What you know about this from your religious background is that it is a temple dedicated to the worship of bees. You make it through the woods, the map leads you safely to the location, and when you get there, you find an ancient temple that lies in ruins. Its vaulted ceilings, now collapsed, were shaped like honeycombs. Bee-shaped sanctuary lies broken about the crumbled outline of the temple's foundation. In the courtyard, a ring of moss-covered stones encircles a well. The well has a hoist and a bucket. The sweet scent wafts from the well as bees congregate around its edge.
Bees are congregating around a well.
That's correct.
That's weird. Um, you said it has a hoist and a bucket?
That's correct.
I think that Yellow is going to lower the bucket and then cautiously bring it back up.
As you lower the bucket, it takes quite a while, but it does end in a splash.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I should have checked beforehand. How many bees around the well? Are we talking dozens of bees, hundreds of bees?
We're talking maybe a dozen bees.
Okay, so not a lethal number of bees.
No.
That's fine. I do that thing I said I did before.
Okay.
What comes back up from the well?
You bring back some sort of liquid. It looks
Mhm.
like water, but it smells sweet.
What is Yellow's constitution? Not great. Let's try it anyway. Spirit of adventure. Yellow is going to take a single finger toe and dip it in the bucket. Uh, what's the touch test?
It
Do we have
is.
a dissolved digit, or is it fine?
It's fine. It is
Okay.
just like normal water, or as um neutral as normal water. It's not.
We'll move on to phase two,
Yes.
which is the sniff test.
It smells sweet, just like I described before.
All right, and then finally, we'll go all in with the taste test.
This is honey sweetened water.
Interesting.
It is cool, sweet, and pleasant to drink.
Now, what did the man in the horn-rimmed glasses say I was supposed to find here, other than the gem?
Just the saffron gem. That is the key here. That's all he
Hmm.
wants. Everything else that you find is yours to loot, apparently.
I I'd like to do I notice anything else about the liquid from the well or the well itself? Because it seems very centrally located.
You can make a Arcana check if you like to determine more about this water.
Oh yeah, okay. Arcana is fine. I'll go ahead and let me double check to make sure that I still have the dice options enabled. Okay. So I'll go ahead and roll a d20. How does a 17 sound?
A 17 sounds like you know that there is conjuration magic at work.
Conjuration. And I know that's like the magic of movement and displacement and teleportation.
Summoning spells are
Yellow
conjuration.
Yellow has an Arcana of 6, so I think it's safe to say that they know that too. Is that fair?
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and assume that the this well leads to the honey zone, like it leads to the sweetness dimension. Um, how's the rope look?
Um it
Does it look like it's in good repair?
it doesn't say that it's not, so I would assume that the rope could hold anything that a normal rope could hold. It does not look like it would break under your load.
Sugary mass.
Yeah.
Um, well, yellow is going to in a how to describe it? In a non-permanent way, in a non-destructive way, they're going to unfix the bucket from the end of the rope. Then they're going to tie the rope around their waist. Um, does it seem like the what's it called? The armature, the little well hat. Does that seem like it would be sturdy enough to hold an entire creature?
Yeah, you
Okay.
give it a good yank just to make sure that it holds and that the rocks don't kind of crumble around it. It looks like this well is in pretty good shape. Much better
All
than
right.
the cathedral.
So then yellow is going to stand at the precipice and peer down into the well and then turn around. And just as they're about to lower themselves backwards to begin rappelling down, they say a small prayer to their god, Lord of Sweetness, Sucrose. And yellow casts guidance on their self.
Sounds like a good plan. It is going to be a athletics check,
So
and
that's
you
a
can use your
D4
guidance.
plus athletics.
Yep,
All right, I think I'm gonna need
strength,
that D4.
strength plus athletics plus your guidance. And by the way, you can open your character sheet and just click on the skill.
Mhm. Will that still roll a virtual die
That will
for
still
the?
roll a virtual die. Hold on, before you do that though, let me
Yep.
just make sure your advantage is on toggle. I forgot to do this earlier with people.
Mhm.
There. Now you can see three tabs that say advantage, normal, disadvantage.
Mhm.
You have done a lot to prepare for this.
Mhm.
You've tied the rope around your waist. And you're going to rappel down. I think because of your preparation, I am going to give you advantage on this roll.
Oh, thank you. I need it because athletics is so in my mind, uh, I I normally act as a dungeon master, so I can't help but just spin up stories for characters. Yellow has an elaborate backstory now. They were saved by a paladin. They wanted to be a paladin, but they didn't have the fortitude or the charisma for it. So athletics is in the gutter, and I'm gonna need that advantage. Is the moral of the story. So I'll go ahead and let me roll the d4 first here. 4. Good.
Nice.
I'm a fan. 15?
Wow. If you did not have guidance, you would have failed this roll.
Yes, I would have. I
But,
read my character sheet.
Yeah. You do make it down to the bottom of the well safely. Let me
And slip into the honey dimension.
let me give you a little map here.
All right.
So on the left side of this map, or I'm sorry, on the right side of this map, is the well.
All right, give me just a second. I need to pop my character sheet out so I can minimize it.
And you can
Okay.
drag your little token onto the board where it says the well. You can put yourself in that tiny little circle that's about 10 feet wide.
Right now, I'm looking at the ruined temple. Do you have another tab, another map tab
Just
for me?
scroll the map over to the right side and you'll see the well.
Oh, okay. There's a lot. All right. I didn't. There was a bit of a white gulf, and I thought that that was just, the frontier of Roll20, just the white room that exists between the maps.
It's what's beyond the invisible wall in video games.
All right. Now, where is my character token? Is it just in the
So on roll
there?
20 on the far right, at the top, there's a little like newspaper icon at the top right corner. You'll click that,
Mhm.
and then you'll see your character.
Yeah.
Just click and hold the word yellow, and then drag it onto the map, and your icon will populate.
All right.
There he is, and down into the well you go. And then you can just double click the word yellow, and your character sheet will pop up. Let me describe to you what's down here. So, at the edge of the well, there is a place where you can stand, and in the middle of the well, there is a large pool of honey sweetened water. There are lining the wall on the other I'm going to say the right side of the map. There
Hmm.
is a hive with bees coming in and out of it.
Is this a lot of bees?
This is a lot of bees. But
Ooh,
as you come
good.
down the well and there are more
Hmm.
bees coming up and down, they seem to avoid you or possibly guide you to safer places. At one point, you were about to fall, but a bee startles you, makes you move to a different place, and there's a ledge there that kind of saved you from falling down into the water below. It seems like these bees um,
Hmm.
like you, as if you
I
have
am a being made out of sugar, so it's not in the way that I imagined, but it makes sense that they like me.
well, it seems like more than that. It seems like you have a blessing of bees.
Interesting.
Perhaps from a good deed you did earlier in the adventure.
I see.
You see that there is a tunnel, a narrow tunnel.
Hmm. A narrow extra dimensional tunnel to that's been conjured
Well, you
to the
can't,
plane of infinite honey.
I don't know if you have dark vision. Do you have dark
I
vision?
do.
You
Yeah,
do.
60 feet of it.
So you can see down there, And you
Mhm.
notice an increasingly thick network of spider webs that crisscross the area.
I hate this. Yellow doesn't like it either, but I am not a fan. All right.
You're not triggered by like insects and spiders and things of that nature, are you?
Oh, real ones, absolutely. But
I can
no, not
change the
not
adventure
in
a
this.
little if that's going to be a problem for you.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, we'll continue then. So yes, there is a tight squeeze tunnel with spider webs crisscrossing it.
Mhm. Oof. I just need a second to recalibrate. I thought that I had discovered like a demi-plane, but like a fun one. I thought that we were going to basically like one of the sweet themed levels from Mario. And now it's a hole filled with spider webs, which I think is about as far away from that as you can get. I was expecting Mario and I'm getting Dark Souls. All right. No need for a torch because I've got dark vision. Yellow proceeds very cautiously down the tunnel. Is it possible to proceed through this narrow tunnel and not disturb the spider webs? Is there enough space?
There is a chance you can get through here without disturbing the webs, or at least webs that matter. You'll
I
have to
see.
make a dexterity check. It looks like a straight dexterity check.
Oh, hold on just a second. Um, Scale mail. Does scale mail, is it one of the sets that's heavy enough to impose disadvantage
It would impose
on
disadvantage
moving,
on stealth checks,
but not
but
just
not just dexterity checks,
moving?
exactly.
Okay. Oh, so is it just straight dexterity or is
It
it
Yeah, you'll just go to the word
okay?
dexterity and click that, unless you have some sort of interesting idea on how to help you out here.
You know, are there any bees that are traversing this tunnel? Because yellow has a truly excellent -1 modifier to dexterity. So,
It looks like the bees don't want to go down in there, possibly because the spider webs trap bees,
mhm.
so they have learned
In
to avoid
this
that area.
in this, the bees and I are in agreement. Is there anything I can do? I couldn't. Yellow couldn't bring themselves to burn the webs because any number of uh, smaller creatures could be smaller spiders could be living among them.
There's a bunch of reasons why burning it might not be a good idea too. The
Mm.
structural integrity of the area isn't the best here. There's also like exactly other creatures, and you could suffocate yourself.
There isn't a take 10 or a take 20 option in
There is
fifth edition,
not.
is there?
No, there is not.
Hmm.
You just make your roll and you live with it.
Can I beseech a bee for aid, and could they provide the help action to help? Could a brave bee, could I send a canary into this coal mine, is what I'm asking.
Do you have a way to communicate with the bees?
Oh, I do, but it's rude. I thought that they might have been semi-intelligent, considering one of them spooked me in a helpful direction earlier. No, you know what? I'm gonna. I don't like to spam guidance, but I think I'm gonna need it. Uh, I cast guidance. I beseech the lords of high sweetness and make my roll. So let me go ahead and
Make sure that you're on normal and not on advantage.
disadvantage. No, just
Just
normal. Sorry,
normal.
we already
Yeah, it's
discussed
just a
that.
normal roll.
Good, off to a good start.
Okay, plus
So
one.
a bonus of 1.
13. You are very lucky
Yes.
because that is exactly the number you need.
Are you sure 13 is a weird DC?
It is a weird DC.
I am a dungeon master. I can take it. You give it to me straight, man. If I got tangled up in webs and eaten by a spider, you let me know.
Unfortunately, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what this
Yeah.
adventure. I'm gonna read to you what this adventure says, but I hate rules like this. It says for every
Yeah.
10 feet yellow travels through the webs, have them
Mhm.
make a DC 13 dexterity check.
Well, how long? One square. So
So
I'd have
that's
to do this 3 times.
you'd have to do it 3 times. The problem is, I believe
Mhm.
that when you uh, when you have multiple rolls for like kind of
Mhm.
the same thing, you're just rolling to eventually fail.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it takes 3 rolls to succeed, but only 1 roll to fail. It doesn't seem right. Correct?
I agree, especially since this is a just as a brief aside, this is a very focused adventure. So they know that yellow has a -1 modifier to dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
This, just between you and me, DM to DM, do you want to just do what they obviously want, which is to have me fail? Like, what's the failure condition? We can just skip straight to that. Oh, look, I rolled the dice. I got a 2. Look at
I
that.
I was
That's
just about to let
interesting.
you just succeed because, like, I find unfair
Oh, no,
rules
no, no,
like
no,
that
because it's clear. What I feel
BS.
like they should have done here is they should have just said yellow can't do it, because
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they want, and that's probably the more interesting outcome. So I'm fine with that. Here, I'll roll. I'll just roll, and we'll see if I've if I'm the luckiest nerd
All right. Yeah.
in the
And I'll let
world.
you use your guidance because you can spam guidance, so you can do it for every roll.
Uh, all right. Okay,
That's
so that's
that's a
pretty good.
success.
And then I'll do this one as well.
And
And
plus
okay,
plus one.
guidance, the minimum bonus from guidance is 1,
Yep.
so I made it.
You're good.
Amazing.
You have made it through the entire well. You can move yourself into the T2 area. And I have some box text for you. Everybody loves box text.
I do. It's my favorite part of the game. I try to start every morning. I eat an entire box of text.
This room is shaped like a giant beehive and covered in honeycombs and spider webs. The walls are carved in hexagonal patterns that curve upwards to a dome ceiling 40 feet overhead. Large chunks of beehive hang from the walls, and honey drips from the comb. On the floor, under a dense mat of spiderwebs, there's a chest atop a 4 foot tall stone plinth.
I've just realized that I have gone to an alternate dimension. I've been uh, transposed to the domain of stickiness. See, that's the theme. See, I was focusing too much on the honey, but it's definitely spiderwebs and honey. There. That's a pattern. I feel that's a
Yeah,
pattern.
definitely.
Is there anything else in the room? I should be able to see all of it because of my dark vision.
Would you
So is there
like to make a
anything?
perception check?
I would not mind making a perception check. There it is. I've been
You
waiting the whole afternoon for that one.
The webs are too thick. There's nothing you can see other than the
Where am I?
chest. You know what?
I
Let me
was
draw
I
that
was
little chest here too. It's on a plinth. We'll say
I was
it's
in a I was
right
in a
there.
well or something.
Right. Hold on. I clicked the wrong thing. Darn
I'm
it.
imagining that Yellow just looks down and is like, "My feet are my hands." That's what Yellow perceives.
So you can see the stone plinth I put in the middle of the room.
I see that. I have a question though. Did I see any spiders of a usual size
No, you have
coming down
not.
the tunnel?
You have not.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Yellow approaches the chest
As
without a
you
care in the world, filled with optimism.
as you approach the chest, coming down from the ceiling through the webs is a giant spider.
No, I think that's a typo. I think it's actually LiDAR. It's a form of advanced radar. That's what I encounter.
This
Yeah.
spider is too big to even fit through the hole that you came through.
Oh, well, that's a little sad. Is there any other way out?
And he comes down in front of the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear him say, I didn't even notice you come in, little one.
Oh, but it's an intelligent spider.
Apparently. He says,
Okay, well that's fine because from Yellow's perspective, Yellow doesn't like things that bite or sting, which is just it's too good. I came up with that um and I think that's the real 20 of the day in my mind is I was like, oh yeah, Yellow doesn't like things that bite and sting, and then it's an adventure full of spiders and bees. Um,
he continues.
whenever something can speak, that puts Yellow at ease.
He'll continue. He says, I am Skithint. And next time, perhaps you should announce yourself. I would have given you a proper welcome. And as he says that, you see the venom drip from its fangs as it's kind of like just kind of floating down in front of you from a web,
Mhm.
from a strand.
Well, Yellow as a candy creature that has presumably made it to an advanced age, young adult candy. I don't know. They have the idea in their mind that if something can speak to you, it's not going to attempt to eat you. So, completely without guile, without deception, Yellow apologizes for not announcing their presence. Just as if the door had been ajar and they just rudely let themselves in, and profusely. The apology is profuse.
Hmm. Well, at least perhaps you've brought me a gift.
Have I brought the giant talking spider a gift? Let me give my inventory a quick once over. Apologies on apologies. No, I'm afraid Yellow has shown up empty-hand-footed.
What a rude guest. I suggest you leave before you anger me further.
Yellow accepts this. But before I go, says Yellow, do you have any need of the box behind you?
Oh, you've come for my box, have you? And yet you come with no gift, nothing in return.
This box doesn't seem to be especially useful. Maybe not a gift, but how would you feel about a trade? What if I bring you something for your box?
Yes, give me the honey that the bees make. Give that to me and I will give you the box.
Aren't the walls dripping with honey?
Let me double check here. It's covered in honeycomb and spider webs.
Okay. So it's already
Large
it's already
chunks of
out.
beehive hang from the walls, and honey does drip from the combs.
Hmm.
Yes.
Well, that might just be a an adventure error.
Um,
We could just say that it's like the leftovers. It's the what's the word? The dregs.
yes.
All right. So
He it does say that he will make a deal for honey. He demands you bring fresh honey.
what volume of honey would satiate the giant spider?
Are you asking the game master?
I what is Yellow's impression? So
You can
yes, I'm asking you.
you can make a knowledge nature check if you like
I
to figure out that
think
information.
I think that I'm pretty good at that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
24.
The
Down to the down to the ounce, please.
the amount in the well wouldn't,
Mhm.
but you're pretty sure since this is a temple to bees, you can find enough in the forest above.
All right. Just for the sake of expediency, um, since Yellow so deftly traversed the spider web filled tunnel before, can Yellow get out of there, get back up the well, back to the surface, uh, with knowledge of the path?
Um, I can say that you can get through. It doesn't matter if you touch the webs anymore because
Mm,
the webs were only to alert the were only to alert uh Skithith
mhm.
that you were approaching and he could set a trap for you. But since you got through that, no problem. I mean, he knows you're coming with honey.
So the difference really is it's what would it how to describe it? It's the opening bid. How are you starting out this conversation? Are you starting out the conversation nerd to spider or spider to snack?
Yeah,
I wasn't
exactly.
ensnared in the web. Okay. Yellow goes back to the surface and then
You're gonna have
starts
to
to
make
look
a
for.
you will have to make another athletic strength roll to get yourself back up to the top,
Mhm.
and this time without advantage because well, you're gonna have to use just your strength to pull yourself back up, either on the rope itself or getting in the bucket and pulling the other side of the rope to pulley yourself to the top. Either one,
And what's the risk of failure here?
falling back into the water.
How deep is the water?
You don't know.
Yellow checks to see how deep the water is.
Um, I mean, it's dark, and the water is dark. I know you have
Mhm.
dark vision, but really, like, water
Yellow
doesn't.
yellow casts light on a gold coin and drops it into the well.
That'll do it. Okay, you drop it into the water.
Mhm.
It goes down about. I'm gonna say in parts it's 8 feet. In other parts it's around 6 feet. It's enough that if you fall into it, it'll break your fall, and you will not get damaged.
I should have done something that I think Yellow would have thought of before that I only am realizing now would have made sense to do. Uh, Yellow probably left that scale mail at the top of the well in the field, like on the mule from
Right.
before. So I think what's the armor bonus for scale mail? Is it? Hold on,
Plus
I've got it here.
plus
14.
4?
It's
Plus
it
5?
sets it to. I think it sets it to 14, and
It's plus
then
5
yeah,
because you have scale mail. Or it's plus 4 because you have scale mail and a shield, and shields are plus 2. So it is plus 4 for scale mail, plus 5 for scale mail. You have a dexterity of -1.
right.
Plus 5 for scale mail, plus 2 for shield.
Anyway, I'll keep that in mind if I get attacked that I'm not wearing my armor anymore. But yellow prays to the holy trinity of sugary gods, sucrose, maltose, and the highest of them, high fructose, and tries to climb that rope.
Okay. Make a athletics roll plus your guidance. And that's a
Cool.
failure. You fall down
All
into the
right.
water.
No
Sploosh.
damage?
No damage, but now it seems like the bees are attracted to you and they start swarming around you a bit.
Wonderful. Are they attacking me?
They are not attacking you, but if you want to be stealthy, it's going to be pretty hard when you have all of these bees around you.
Fine. Um, do I need to try again? Or can we
Yes.
just say I try it until I make it?
You can try it now until you make it. The only
Cool.
flaw in failing is to have a swarm of bees follow you around.
I consult the map and look for a body of water on the surface.
There is a brook, but it is
Mhm.
pretty far from here. It would take you a bit out of your way.
Is there any danger between here and there?
You don't know. It's the Darkwood. It's a fantasy forest. Anything could happen.
All right. I'm going to. You know what? It's been a little bit of time. Um, Yellow is going to sit down for a nice mid-afternoon snack, uh, eat whatever a nerd eats for rations, and then just uses the wrapper to try to towel off as best they can.
Okay.
Um,
You're a bit sticky, but you think you
mhm.
can uh, get most of this sticky, sweet honey water off of you.
Now, I would like to visually confirm honey in the environment.
That will
Where where
be
does the where do the hives
that will be
exist?
a nature check, but since you did so well on your nature check before, I'm going to give you advantage on this.
18.
Perfect. Uh, Getting honey. You can find it around the temple ruins.
Mhm.
You must make a nature check, and you pass that, and you can find some honey and a way to get it without being attacked by bees.
Oh, okay, it just worked?
Yeah, it just works.
Okay. Uh Probably the water skin. Probably gonna fill a water. I'm assuming I
Yeah,
have a
you'd
water
have to
skin.
like
Yeah.
wash yourself off. Like you'd have to dry yourself and then wash yourself off with the water skin to get rid of the stickiness anyways.
Yeah. And then
So,
I fill the water skin up. I don't know if we is this a sufficient amount of honey? I rolled before and I don't think I got an
yes.
answer.
Yes. You know
Okay.
exactly the amount of honey you need to satiate the spider.
All right. And I have a way of getting it down there?
Yeah.
I do it.
You have a backpack. You can wrap it in a big cloth satchel or whatever. It's fine.
I'm gonna say that everything that was in the backpack goes in a saddlebag on the mule, and this is now just I've converted the backpack into a water skin exclusively for honey. It is a honey skin, TM, patent pending.
All right. You make your
It's
way
going to
back down.
revolutionize the world.
You make your way back down the well and through the tunnel,
Mhm.
and you see the giant spider, uh, Skithith, waiting for you. Well, we'll pull you back here, and he's a little forward. And he says, "Ah, you've returned. What do you have for me?"
I want to say a Capri Sun, but with honey, but that doesn't track. Um, a gift from the surface, and then gingerly puts the backpack full of honey down,
He says, "Honey!"
and
And he lunges for you as you pull it out. "Give it to me!" He'll make a roll to hit.
uh, you know what? No, I don't think he's going to. Do you want me to roll initiative? Because I've
Sure.
got a plan. Here's the plan. Whenever the spider lunges, Yellow is going to hold the bag up, hold the backpack up, and command the spider. Hold on, I want to talk about this beforehand because this situation is honestly kind of frustrating, and I don't want to.
And it's
I
happening
will throw a
very quickly.
tantrum. I will throw a tantrum if this does not go my way. This is what I want to happen. I want to expend a spell slot to cast command and command the spider to eat. And I want to very obviously be holding the backpack of honey ahead of me, with the intention being that the spider will be commanded to eat the bag of honey. And I do not want a monkey paw situation here where I spend my spell slot and then you turn around and tell me that the command has been misconstrued and now the spider is trying to eat
Of
Yellow.
course.
So we have an understanding. We
We
have
do.
a Dungeon Master's Accord, which is an unbreakable bond, and
Make
I
your
spend a
initiative
spell
roll.
slot. Let's see what happens here.
On your
It's
sheet,
going to be terrible.
there's initiative, and you can just uh, click on the word, and it should give you an initiative score. Oh, well,
Dang.
that's very low. It will get off a single attack on you before you can do your command.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how well the attack works. And it doesn't look like it works very well at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he lunges at you, and you're able to duck out of the way. You pull the backpack out and shove it into the spider's face, and you cast your spell. I believe I have to make a wisdom saving throw.
You could, although, considering that the honey is what the spider wanted, and my command is kind of in alignment with what the spider wants anyway, you could just choose to fail. That's an option. But yes, it's a DC 13 wisdom save.
I think the spider wants to keep control of its faculties, but it does want to eat the honey. So I'm going to give it
Mhm.
disadvantage on this roll.
Seems fair.
Right? It made a 4, so it happily chows down, ripping open your bag to get at the honey inside.
Moving quickly now. Can the box be moved?
It is covered in webs. So in order to get at the box, you'll have to find a way to remove the webs.
That isn't actually. I have a small knife. I have a small, sharp knife in my bag, and Yellow will try to excise the box from the webs.
That will do it. You can cut away all of the uh, all of the webs that are around it, and you reveal some words written on the lid of the chest.
But again, the box, can it be moved now that it's free?
Um, a locked chest. It's beautifully decorated with bees and flowers. It
Like, is this
looks
a
like it
foot
looks like
locker
this.
or is it like a big fantasy
I think this
boss key
chest.
box?
I think this chest is part of the pillith. The pilth.
Okay.
So I think it's supposed to be part of this room.
Hmm.
This room is specifically made to house this chest and what is inside of it.
I understand. Can it be opened?
It is
Let's try the
locked.
easy one first. So it is locked.
It is locked, but there seems to be on the lock instead
Mhm.
of a regular key lock, there seems to be these little dials with letters on them.
Is there any are the letters in common?
Yes.
Okay. Is
There's
there anything else
there's
on
five
the
of them.
box?
There's five of the dials.
Hmm.
There's words on the lid.
All right. What does the lid say?
It says, "I am a comb, but not for your
Mhm.
hair."
Is there the fantasy equivalent of an H available
Yes.
in the first slot?
What word would you like to spell that is five letters? And we'll
I believe I would like to spell the word honey.
all right, Vana, show him what he's won. The chest opens.
Man, I resisted the urge to buy a vowel, and then you.
Inside is a
Mhm.
saffron colored gem.
uh, puts that, spirits that away into a little belt pouch or something, and then just makes a beeline, if you will
Pardon the
pardon it,
pun. Yeah.
uh, back to back to the surface.
I just want to make sure that there isn't anything else in this adventure that I missed real quick. Ah, no, that's where that comes from. Okay. As you turn around to leave, you see that the spider is almost finished with its meal. So, in order to get by it quickly enough before it can uh, break your spell and come after you, I want you to
Mhm.
make a strength athletics check to run as fast as your feet can take you.
14.
You've been making really great rolls, I gotta say. You make it past, and you dive into the hole just as the spider leaps for you, and its little fangs are kind of pushing through the hole trying to get at you, but you've already made it to safety.
All right. Well, that seems like I'm trying to imagine how a nerd would do a job as well done, like dusting off the hand feet. It's they've got to sit down to do it, right? To
Right,
sort of do
like
that pat pat.
high three toes, high three.
Yeah. So that happens. Probably don't want to put the scale mail back on, what with the stickiness. Just loads up what they can. Probably going to sadly lead the mule by a rope, like by a lead, instead of trying to mount up all
Sure.
covered in honey goo. And then I think that Yellow won out in the end, in a really secure way, because I had backup honey in the water skin. So that is Yellow's treat on the way back home.
Sounds great. And this is holy honey from the Temple of Meal. You return to Harmony, and waiting for you at the monastery is Mr. Honeycutt. He's very excited. He says, "Oh, you've returned! Excellent. Have you found the saffron gem?"
This is a situation where it's like this Yellow is pretty easily bullied, but after the day they've had, this was definitely like an 8 or a 9 on the danger scale when they had prepared for like a 3. So this is like a cold walk straight past this guy to stable the mule. No words are exchanged as like the armor comes off and they put it on the ground, and the bag comes off and they put it on the ground. And then Yellow very calmly turns and says, "The monastery will treat you to dinner. I will be bathing. We'll speak after." And then Yellow goes about their evening and definitely very intentionally like keeps this guy like on the hook.
Right.
At least like this petty inconvenience after neglecting to mention that a giant intelligent spider was in the cards, that was a possibility. Um but then they pick up wherever you would like to. Um
Well, he says,
Over dinner,
I'm
whenever Yellow's cleaned off.
I'm very sorry if you feel like I've done something wrong. I I apologize. But this is for the safety of Harmony. Us lore keepers, we are tasked with the guardianship of the city, and we need to stop what is ever causing the colors to leach from the city.
Did Yellow see any color outages on their way to or from the temple? Are they that
They're not in the
widespread?
forest, no. It's just in the city.
Hmm. Curious. Oh, I have another question. Uh, oh no, I'm sorry. I already asked that about the flower. I wanted to know what would happen if a nerd walked into a zone of no color and then walked back out.
There aren't zones. It's not. That's
Mhm.
not how it works. It's just items that just
Individual
lose. Yeah,
objects.
objects that lose their color. Exactly.
Has a living person been drained of their color?
You've
Do you
seen
just yellow
someone
know?
wearing clothing that seems oddly monochrome, but you're not sure if it was tailored that way
Hmm.
or if it lost its color naturally
Okay.
or
Well,
unnaturally, as it were.
Yellow is a pushover and does a forgive and forget pretty quickly, despite being put in mortal danger, and presents the saffron gem, uh, not even with a flourish, just very plain. Like it's very transactional. Here is your gem.
Mr. Honeycutt seems
Mhm.
very relieved. He says, "Oh, good, you did find it. Oh, this will definitely help against those who dare to dull the vibrant soul of Harmony. I I want to thank you, not just with words. This is what I owe you." He puts down a bag full of gold
Mhm.
and then presents you with a box, a long wooden box. This is for going above and beyond in service to the city of Harmony.
The first thing Yellow does is takes one. It's a pouch of 20 gold,
It's 25 gold.
25 gold. Yellow takes one of them to replace the one coin that was dropped into the well, and then just calls for somebody nearby, somebody from the clergy, and just gets the rest of the coin going to where it needs to go.
Right.
Um,
To the church.
Probably not to the.
The temple
I don't
of
know. That might be my personal bias speaking.
maybe to help
Uh,
those affected by the color loss. A
yeah, I was
charity.
about to say. Um, Miss Nesbitt's home for monochrome children, monochromatic kids. Um, and then carefully opens the box that's been placed in front of them.
You find inside the box a mace. And it sparkles and gleams with magic. and there is a card with it.
I think. So, be honest, how close are we to the end of the adventure?
This is the end of the adventures. You're here.
I've got a whole spell slot left to burn. I want to cast Identify.
This is the Mace of Disruption. When
All
you
right.
hit a fiend or undead with this magic weapon, it creates an extra 2d6 radiant damage.
I think that yellow would internally muse. That wouldn't have helped that much anyway.
By
See,
the way,
I was prepared. Whenever I saw that it was a weapon, I was like, this is probably a magic weapon. This is the kind of thing that probably should have been the ante. Probably should have given this out first, Mr. Honeycutt.
right.
If you want the job done.
That said, Identify does have a spell component that is gold related, but since this is just such a one-off kind of adventure, I'm just gonna let it go. We're not gonna there's a whole rigmarole to identify. I think it takes 10 minutes to do it, and you need to spend maybe 10 or 20 gold to actually for components to actually do the spell.
Between you and me, I double checked. I thought that it was something that only paladins can do, but I was mistaken. Clerics can have their holy symbol emblazoned on their shield. Because I was about to contact you before playing to say, hey, I don't think they gave my character a holy symbol. I'm still not 100% convinced that the people that wrote this adventure remembered that. I think that they just forgot the holy symbol for the cleric, and it's lucky that the rules have room where it's oh no, you can use your shield. Your holy symbol can be on your shield. So I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced.
By the way, I looked up Identify, and it costs a pearl worth at least 100 gold pieces. Crazy, right? It's crazy. Anyways,
we can discuss this after we're done here.
Yeah.
Because I'd be interested in determining this. But I am not convinced. I think that whenever it would be consumed, it says as much. You know what? We'll talk about it after. Okay.
Sure.
So Mace of Disruption. I thank him for the gift. Actually, Yellow would probably say, "Are you sure?"
Oh, he says, very much so. In fact, when I am certain of how to reverse the process, I may need help again, and I may call on your services.
Ominous. Okay. Well, I think that Yellow... this seems like the kind of thing that Yellow would keep in the box. So the lid goes back on, and then after they're done for the evening, Yellow goes to meditate in their quarters, and then it's just kind of nicely propped up, lid off, propped up in the corner, just so Yellow can look over and see it, just that mark of achievement for the day.
It's a trophy, really. Not a weapon, but a trophy.
Yeah. And then just musing to themselves help a bee get a magic mace.
Well, Rosma, I want to thank you for joining me here today to have fun.
Thank you for having
as
me.
a nerd. You're very welcome. We'll do it again. There's one last adventure where all of these one-on-one encounters that we're doing, all of those people that I'm doing the Nerds adventure with will all come together in the final adventure. And hopefully we can do it soon. Hopefully everybody's schedules match up and we can make it happen as soon as possible. And I'll welcome you back then.
All right.
Everybody who watched this live stream, if you watched all the way through, you obviously liked it, so hit that like button. If you want to watch more of these Nerds adventures or any of the D&D, the RPG live streams that I do, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss it. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.